This is Russell Howard of the Richland Road Church of Christ. We're here to share with you good news to live by. A few things we want to share with you. We got started yesterday for opening up our building to worship again. And wow, it was wonderful to see everybody that was able to come out. Again, we have 3 services on Sunday, one at 8:15, one at 9:45, and one at 11:15. And we hope that, Lord willing, you'll be able to come out this Sunday. It would be refreshing to see your smile and be with you again and to be able to worship again with God's family. But it was encouraging yesterday. There are a few folks we want to be thinking about today. Please, if you would, please be praying for Teresa Tharp, who is in Marion General Hospital. And we also ask that you would be praying for Omar Williams, who's also there and who is in the intensive care unit, as well as we pray that you pray for Mike Pine, who is at Mount Carmel East, recovering from a serious surgery last Friday. And we also pray that you be thinking about David Breeze and Erica Rich. Continue to remember them and pray for them. They're very special to us, and we love them. And also Debbie McMorris, remember her in your prayers. She is now at home, and that's very encouraging that she is at home. On Wednesday night, we'll be starting a new Bible study. Instead of Facebook Live, we will be doing it on Zoom. You'll be able to find that information starting tomorrow, and Matt will probably have more about that tomorrow morning when he talks with Good News to live by. So again, that will be tomorrow morning. You'll have some more information about what our Bible study will be on Wednesday evening at 7 o'clock. Years ago, there's a fellow by the name of Leif Anderson who remembers that when he was a child, he tells a story about the opportunity he got to go to a World Series game between the Brooklyn Dodgers and the New York Yankees. He was a big Brooklyn Dodgers fan. He was so excited because he was very sure that the Dodgers would stomp all over the Yankees. But he was really surprised what he saw. Unfortunately, not a single Dodger was even able to get on a base, and they lost bad that day to the Yankees. Years later, he was engrossed in talking with a particular gentleman about a conversation who was a sports fanatic and sports walking almanac. He told him about his first World Series game that he went to the game with the Dodgers and the Yankees, and how the Dodgers got killed. It was such a disappointment. I was a Dodger fan, and the Dodgers did not even get on base. The man got all excited. He said, "You were there? You were at the game when Don Larson pitched the first perfect game in all the World Series? You were able to see that?" Leif replied, said, "Yeah, but we lost." He didn't realize that he'd been so caught up in his team's defeat that he missed out on the fact of one of the most historical moments in baseball. He didn't even see it. He didn't see the far bigger picture on a day in history. I wonder how often the same thing happens to us. We get so caught up in our defeats in life, the time when things didn't turn out the way we wanted them to turn out, or so we become depressed when the illness continues or lingers on, or when people treat us the way they have and they shouldn't have treated us that way, or when we face financial difficulties. But we're often so blind by the pain and by the disappointment of our defeat that we fail to appreciate the larger picture, the fact that we might be witnessing something far greater, something more magnificent that's working in our lives. Remember when Paul was in prison? He wrote to the Christians at Philippi. He said, "My dear friends, I want you to know that what has happened to me has helped to spread the good news." Philippians 1 verse 12. He would go on to say in chapter 2 and verses 13, "For it is God who works in you to will and to act according to his good purpose." Well, most of us would focus so much on our defeat of being into prison, even though we may be innocent. Paul was able to see what God was doing. I think about different times in people's lives. Maybe they faced a difficulty, but out of that difficulty, even an illness, caused someone to seek out the will of God, and they became Christians. Or maybe even a financial disaster causes us to realize that I need God, and people came through and helped us out, and we realize that God carried us through, and we recognize His presence. Or maybe you lost your job. Well, you didn't like the job anyway, but you were able to eventually find a job that you really liked. And had you not suffered that disappointment, you wouldn't have been better. I think about Enterprise, Alabama. Enterprise, Alabama became a blessing in disguise. They grew cotton there, and years ago, and the boll weevils came through and just destroyed it, destroyed all the fields. It was havoc. And then what ended up happening was they learned that you can make more money growing peanuts. So they started growing peanuts and became very wealthy and did well. And right in the middle of the city of Enterprise, Alabama, is a statue of a boll weevil. Sometimes things that happen to us become blessings in disguise. Maybe there is a bigger picture here that we're not seeing. It's not always easy to do that. It's never easy to view things from the heavenly perspective rather than the earthly one. It's easy. It isn't easy. It's easy to get so consumed in the negative of what's happening in our defeat. But it is learning how to have a heavenly view that helps us to know joy no matter what happens in our life. So today, instead of focusing on your defeats, your losses, focus on the bigger picture of how God really is working in your life to shape it and change it for His purpose. This is Russell Howard with Good News to Live By. I hope you have a wonderful, blessed day today. Thank you.